When the sun rises, heaven is already speaking. The morning is not just the beginning of a new day, it is the announcement of new mercies, new opportunities, new miracles waiting to be born. And before the world whispers its doubts into your ears, you must choose to whisper heaven's truth into your own soul, because what you speak in the morning becomes the atmosphere of your day, and what you believe in your heart becomes the foundation of your future. So tell yourself, I am not here by accident, I am chosen. I am alive because God has a purpose in me. My breath is not ordinary breath, it is the wind of destiny. Tell yourself, yesterday's failures do not chain me. Yesterday's fears do not command me. The blood of Christ is greater than the weight of my past, and His Spirit is stronger than the storms that rise against me. Stand before the mirror and say, I am not weak, because the Spirit of the living God strengthens me. I am not empty, because heaven's storehouses overflow toward me. I am not forgotten, because my name is written on the palms of His hands. Do not let the morning slip away in silence, because silence allows the shadows to creep back in. Open your mouth, declare with faith, speak with fire. If your tongue is filled with life, your heart will be filled with courage, and your path will be filled with victory. Say, today I walk in peace. Today I carry joy. Today I expect the unexpected blessings of God to overtake me. Say, I am surrounded by favor like a shield. I am crowned with loving kindness. The angels of heaven walk with me when I step into the world. Say, my mind is not a battlefield for despair. It is a garden of promise. My thoughts are seeds of greatness. My vision is aligned with heaven. Do not wait for someone else to affirm you. Do not wait for the world to tell you who you are. The world cannot name you because it did not create you. You are who God says you are, a child of light, a vessel of power, a warrior of faith. When you rise from your bed, rise like a soldier preparing for battle. Put on the armor of God with your words. Wrap yourself in truth. Hold faith like a shield. Lift hope like a sword. And march into the day knowing that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. There is power in the first words you release each morning. If you release doubt, you chain yourself before the battle begins. But if you release faith, you unlock doors before you even see them. Speak to the mountains before they rise. Command the storms before they form. Bless the day before it begins. Say, I will not fear. I will not shrink back. I will not surrender. My God is greater. My God is for me. Say, the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead is alive in me. He flows through my veins. He burns in my heart. He speaks in my voice. Do not forget this. Your morning sets the rhythm of your destiny. The enemy knows it. That is why he tries to fill your first moments with distraction, with heaviness, with lies. But you are not called to crawl into the day. You are called to roar into the day. Lift your head high, open your chest wide. Breathe in the breath of heaven and declare, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice, I will be glad. I will not walk in defeat. I will not walk in sorrow. I will not walk in shame. And when you walk out your door, remember that the kingdom of heaven does not sleep inside the church walls. It lives inside of you. Wherever you step, the kingdom steps. Wherever you speak, the kingdom speaks. Wherever you bless, the kingdom blesses. So rise, child of God. Rise with fire in your bones. Rise with a song in your heart. Rise with faith in your mouth. For the morning is not just a routine. It is a holy beginning. And the one who rules the heavens has already gone ahead of you, preparing a way, opening the sea, making the impossible possible, and calling you to walk boldly through. The morning shapes the atmosphere of the entire day, and what you declare at its beginning becomes the foundation for how you live. Speaking faith-filled words breaks the power of yesterday's failures and fears, reminding you that you are chosen, strengthened, and never forgotten. Your declarations are spiritual armor. When you rise like a soldier and speak truth, you prepare yourself for victory before the battles even come. Words carry the authority to bless, to command, and to create. When you release faith instead of doubt, doors open before your eyes can see them. You must affirm your identity daily, knowing the world cannot define you. You are who God says you are, a child of light, filled with His Spirit. Each morning is a holy beginning where heaven goes before you, and with faith in your mouth and fire in your spirit, you step boldly into a day already prepared for miracles. When the first light of morning touches the earth, it is more than the arrival of a new day. It is the sound of heaven calling you to rise again. The morning is not ordinary, it is sacred. It carries a fragrance of fresh beginnings, untouched hours, and possibilities waiting to be shaped by your words. Think about it. When you wake up, the world has not yet spoken to you. The noise of news, the pressure of work, the demands of people, they are all still waiting at the edge of your day. But in that quiet moment, before you open the door to the world, you are standing at the threshold of creation. What you choose to speak into that silence is what will echo back at you throughout the hours to come. Have you noticed how easily your mood in the morning can dictate your entire day? If you wake up late, frustrated, rushing, suddenly everything feels heavy and out of control. But when you wake up with a moment of peace, with intentional words, it is as if your spirit takes command of the day instead of the day commanding you. That is the secret many never understand. The atmosphere of your day does not belong to chance, it belongs to your confession. The words you release are like seeds scattered across the soil of time, and every hour that follows will reap their harvest. Imagine a farmer standing at dawn, seed bag in hand, ready to sow into his field. If he scatters good seed, the harvest will bless him. If he scatters nothing, or worse, poisonous seed, his future will reflect his neglect. Every morning you are that farmer. Your thoughts are the seed, your words are the seed, your faith is the seed. And the soil of the new day is waiting, open and fertile, ready to respond. Tell yourself, I will not walk through this day empty. I will sow courage. I will sow hope. I will sow peace. Because when fear tries to choke you, when frustration tries to shake you, it will not have the power to uproot what you planted early in the morning. The enemy fears the believer who rises and speaks life at dawn, because such a believer walks into the day already victorious. Think of David standing before Goliath. Before the giant ever fell, David declared what would happen. He said, "Today the Lord will deliver you into my hands." The battle was won with words before it was won with stones. Your morning declarations are like David's words. They shape the victory before you even face the fight. Some wake up and immediately rehearse yesterday's defeats. They say, I am tired, I am unlucky, nothing ever changes. And without knowing, they lock themselves into a prison before they step out the door. But you are not called to be a prisoner of your past. You are called to be a prophet of your future. Speak what heaven says about you. I am chosen, I am strengthened, I am loved, I am destined. Let those words become the atmosphere that carries you. The morning is not simply about brushing your teeth, drinking coffee, and rushing out. It is the sacred moment where you align your spirit with God's spirit, where you set the rhythm of your day like a musician tuning an instrument before a great performance. If the first note is sharp or flat, the whole song will suffer. But if the first note is pure, the music flows with power and beauty. In the same way, your first words, your first thoughts, your first declarations, they tune your spirit for the symphony of the day ahead. So when the sun rises tomorrow, remember, you are not just waking up, you are awakening creation itself with the sound of your voice. You are not just entering another day. You are stepping into a field waiting for your seed. The morning is your canvas. Speak life and watch the picture of your day unfold with colors brighter than you imagined. There are voices from yesterday that try to follow you into today. The voice of failure, whispering, "You tried before and it didn't work." The voice of fear, hissing, "What if you fall again?" The voice of shame, quietly reminding you of every mistake, every wrong turn, every moment you wished you could erase. If you do not confront those voices in the morning, they will set the tone for your day before you even take your first step. That is why you must rise and declare with courage, "Yesterday does not chain me. Yesterday does not define me. Yesterday does not own me." Think of a prisoner who has been set free, yet still holds the chains in his own hands, carrying them everywhere he goes. He has the key, the door is open, but in his mind he is still bound. That is how many people live. They wake each morning still carrying the weight of the past, rehearsing it, believing it, reliving it. But when you begin your day by speaking life, you drop those chains at the feet of Christ. You declare, "I am forgiven, I am cleansed, I am free." And as you say it, something shifts. The chains that felt heavy in your heart begin to lose their grip on your spirit. The power of the morning lies in this one truth. You choose whether you wake up chained to yesterday or released into today. And that choice is made with your words. Words can either repeat the curses of your past or release the blessings of your future. That is why when you stand in front of the mirror, you must speak boldly. "I am not the sum of my mistakes. I am not the echo of my failures. I am a new creation, and my story is still being written." Even the greatest people of faith stumbled. Moses doubted. Elijah grew weary. Peter denied. But none of them were abandoned. God did not define them by their darkest moment. He defined them by His purpose in their lives. And if God can redeem their yesterday, He can surely redeem yours. That is why you must speak this truth until your soul believes it. His grace is greater than my guilt. His strength is stronger than my weakness. His love is deeper than my shame. Picture a runner at the starting line. If he keeps looking back over his shoulder, staring at the track he has already run, he will stumble before he ever takes a stride. The race demands forward focus. In the same way, your morning is your starting line. The past is already behind you. The future is waiting. When you declare freedom from yesterday, you fix your eyes forward and your stride becomes steady. Some mornings, the heaviness feels real. The enemy whispers, "It will always be this way. Nothing will change." But in that very moment, you have a weapon. Open your mouth and answer back, "No, I am not powerless. I am not forgotten. The Spirit of the living God is within me, and He makes all things new." When you speak this, you are not just making noise. You are drawing a line in the sand. You are telling the world, the enemy, and even your own mind that your story will not be written by regret, but by redemption. Every morning, you have the chance to silence the lies of yesterday with the truth of today. Your past may explain where you've been, but it does not dictate where you are going. And with every declaration of faith, you step lighter, stand taller, breathe deeper, because you know the weight of yesterday has no authority over the promise of today. When a soldier prepares for battle, he does not step onto the field unarmed. He puts on his armor, sharpens his sword, lifts his shield, and steadies his heart. He knows that before the clash even begins, he must already be dressed for victory. Your morning is that moment of preparation. The words you speak at dawn are not casual phrases. They are the armor you put on for the day ahead. They are the shield you lift against fear, the helmet you wear against doubt, the sword you carry to cut through despair. Without them, you walk exposed. With them, you walk covered in strength. There are days when life itself feels like a battlefield. Stress comes like a storm, responsibilities crash down like waves, and discouragement fires its arrows from every direction. But when you have already armed yourself with faith-filled declarations in the morning, you do not crumble under the weight, you rise under it. You are not surprised when trials come, because you have already spoken to your soul, be strong, be courageous, the Lord is with me. Those words act like invisible armor, unseen but unbreakable, guarding your mind and steadying your steps. Think of David before Goliath once more. He did not walk onto that field in his own strength. Long before the stone left his sling, he had already declared with his mouth what the outcome would be. Today the Lord will deliver you into my hand. That declaration was not only a statement of faith, it was a shield for his heart. It clothed him with confidence, it wrapped him in divine authority, it made him undefeatable before the fight even began. You carry that same authority each morning. When you speak life into your day, you are not just motivating yourself, you are clothing yourself in heavenly armor. Too often we step into the chaos of life half prepared. We check our phones before we check our spirit. We put on our shoes before we put on our strength. We rush into the noise without anchoring our hearts in truth. And when the battles come, we wonder why we feel crushed, why fear overwhelms us so quickly. But a soldier without armor cannot stand long in battle. That is why you must rise and speak life at dawn, declaring, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I am more than a conqueror. Greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world." These are not empty phrases. They are shields forged in the fire of heaven. Consider the weight of silence. If you rise without declaring anything, the enemy is quick to declare for you. He fills the silence with doubt, with fear, with lies. But when you break that silence with faith, you silence him instead. You take the authority of the morning and place it firmly in the hands of God. Every declaration of truth is like fastening a new piece of armor, belt of truth, shield of faith, helmet of salvation, until you are clothed in strength from head to toe. And then, as you walk into your day, storms may rise, people may fail you, circumstances may turn against you, but you will not collapse. Why? Because you are armored. Because you are clothed in words that carry the power of heaven. Because you have already told your spirit to stand tall and your heart to be unafraid. You are not a wanderer walking aimlessly into the unknown. You are a warrior dressed for victory before the first battle cry has even sounded. Words are not light things. They are not just sounds escaping from your lips. They are seeds, they are arrows, they are bridges, they are battles won before they even begin. The power of your words in the morning is like a spark that decides whether your day burns with fire or fades into ashes. If you rise and release doubt, it is as if you are placing heavy stones in your own path, stumbling before the race even begins. But when you rise and release faith, you are opening doors you cannot yet see, preparing victories that have not yet reached your horizon. Think of the farmer again, standing at dawn with a bag full of seed. He does not see the harvest yet. The soil looks barren, the sky may even threaten rain. But with steady hands, he sows anyway. He knows that the seed carries life, and though he cannot see it in that moment, it will break the soil, it will push through, it will bear fruit. That is what your words do. Each declaration of faith you speak in the morning is a seed buried in the soil of time. You may not see the fruit at noon or even by sunset, but the seed is working beneath the surface, and the harvest will come. Consider Joshua standing before the walls of Jericho. The walls were thick, unmovable, towering in strength. But the command was not to attack them with swords or burn them with fire. It was to march, to shout, to release sound. And when they did, the walls fell flat. That is the power of words spoken with faith. They break down walls too heavy for your hands to touch. They collapse barriers that look impossible in your own strength. When you speak life in the morning, you are not just encouraging yourself, you are calling walls to fall before you even face them. Many people waste their words at dawn. They say, I'm tired, I'm unlucky, nothing ever works for me. They do not realize they are sowing weeds into their own soil, building walls with their own hands, chaining themselves before the battle begins. The mouth becomes a prison if it is filled with doubt, but it becomes a key if it is filled with faith. That is why you must be intentional. Instead of rehearsing defeat, declare destiny. Instead of repeating pain, proclaim promise. Instead of bowing to fear, bless your future with your own voice. I have seen people rise from ashes simply because they changed what they spoke. A man broken by loss declared each morning, I will see joy again. And slowly, joy returned. A woman crushed by betrayal whispered each dawn, I am loved, I am chosen. And love filled her heart again. Words are not cheap, they create worlds. You are living in the echo of what you spoke yesterday, and tomorrow you will live in the echo of what you speak today. So rise and speak with courage. Speak to the mountains before they form. Command the storms before they gather. Bless the day before it begins. Say, I will not shrink back. I will not fear. I will not lie small. My God is greater. My God is nearer. My God is for me. Those words do more than lift your spirit. They shift the atmosphere. They open unseen doors. They summon strength you didn't know you carried. And as they go forth, they prepare the way so that by the time you arrive at your battles, victory has already walked ahead of you. Every morning, the mirror becomes more than glass. It becomes a battlefield of identity. Staring back at you is not just your reflection, it is the voice of the world, the shadow of your past, the weight of comparison, all trying to tell you who you are. If you are not careful, you begin to accept the labels others have placed on you. You let the world write your name with its judgments, its failures, its expectations. But here is the truth. The world did not create you, so the world cannot define you. Only God, who formed you in the secret place and breathed His Spirit into your lungs, has the authority to say who you truly are. That is why you must remind yourself each morning, I am who God says I am. Not what fear says, not what shame says, not what my mistakes say. I am chosen, I am beloved, I am set apart. I am filled with the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead. And when you speak these words, you are not just reciting phrases, you are reclaiming your identity from the lies that try to rob you. Think of Gideon. When the angel of the Lord appeared, he was hiding in fear, seeing himself as weak, insignificant, unworthy. But the angel called him mighty warrior. God named him according to his destiny, not his insecurity. If Gideon had continued believing the voice of fear, he would have never led his people to freedom. But when he accepted God's word about his life, everything changed. You too must stand in front of your mirror each morning and choose whether you will live as Gideon in the shadows or as Gideon the warrior, clothed in God's declaration. Our world is filled with voices. Social media shouting, you are not enough. Society whispering, you must be more. Your own past echoing, you will never change. And if you let those voices define you, you will walk through your day carrying an identity that was never yours to bear. But when you silence them with the truth of heaven, your spirit rises above the noise. You begin to see yourself not as broken, but as whole, not as a victim, but as a victor, not as ordinary, but as extraordinary in the hands of God. I have met people who lived years under false names, failure, rejected, forgotten, until one morning they decided to speak differently. A young woman once told me, every day I said, I am loved, I am strong, I am chosen. At first it felt like a lie, but then something shifted. I began to believe it. I began to live it. And the life I thought I lost came back to me. That is the miracle of speaking identity. When you declare it long enough, your heart begins to believe it. And when your heart believes it, your life begins to reflect it. So when you rise tomorrow and face the mirror, do not repeat the names the world has thrown at you. Speak the name heaven calls you. Call yourself light in the darkness. Call yourself a vessel of glory. Call yourself a warrior of faith. And as you do, watch how your shoulders lift, how your spirit steadies, how your steps grow stronger. Because the moment you know who you are in God, the world loses its power to tell you you are not. Each morning carries a holiness that too many overlook. We treat it as routine, as if it is just another sunrise, another stretch of hours to fill. But the morning is not ordinary. It is the birthplace of miracles. It is the canvas of heaven, freshly painted with mercy, still wet with possibility. When you open your eyes, you are not simply waking from sleep. You are stepping into a moment that God has already prepared. Before your feet touch the ground, before your plans unfold, before your struggles even appear, heaven has gone ahead of you. The path is already being cleared, the seas already being parted, the provision already being set in place. This is why the morning matters. It is not just the start of time, it is the alignment of your spirit with eternity. The way you begin does more than set your schedule, it sets your spirit. If you drag yesterday into today, if you allow fear to enter first, the day feels heavy, sluggish, powerless. But when you rise with faith in your mouth, fire in your bones, and praise on your lips, you step into the rhythm of what God is already doing. The morning becomes more than minutes. It becomes momentum. Think of Israel standing before the Red Sea. The waters were high, the enemy was near,